Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Crime Centric. This being a show, we're talking about crime dramas that I watch. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the latest episode of Lethal Weapon. So in this episode, a lot of interesting things go down. First and foremost, we get introduced to the new Deputy DA, Erica, which Cole had the misfortune of running into because he literally bumped into her car. And I love the whole thing of her being like, oh, so you're on your phone driving. He's like, what? No, that'd be so wrong. And it's like, oh, Erica's on the phone with her mom. He's like, oh, I see. And she's like, the fact of the matter is, it's hands-free. And just like the back and forth between them. He's like, would it make you feel any better if I said that I was on the phone with the love of my life? And Erica's like, he's like, okay, let me go get my wallet and stuff like that. Even trying to avoid her in the conference room because he's like, I ran into her. We had a bad experience. And it's like, yeah, some moron ran into my car. And he's like, what? Moron? So I love that. And he's like, whoa, I got a thing going on tonight because he's trying to patch things up with Natalie. He's like, oh, that kiss and everything, so where do we go from here? But Natalie's confused, and Andrew's like, oh, I got a big thing like we should do tonight. I got a big surprise. And Cole knows exactly what that means, and he tries to be like, oh, if Andrew says anything, wants any surprise thing, if he says anything, just say no to him or whatever. So there's that complicated thing. What I love the most about this episode is Elliot. Elliot was so good. The time frame he spends with everybody, like the time he spends with Merton is just like, oh, he's like, oh, that partner of yours, disrespect. Roger's like, yeah, disrespectful. And he's like, yeah, he focuses on what he needs and not what you, exactly what you got there all from one conversation to sitting up there eating and stuff. And even when Erica is going like hard at Elliot, it's like, oh, tell us what you know or I'm gonna come after you. And he's just like, whoa. Roger's like, Elliot's just doing the best he can. She's like, what are you, friends or something? I love that. And then he even has moments with Cole later on because it's like he's up there giving advice to Cole and stuff like that. It's like, you know, love, relationship time, there's no better time than now. And he's like, no, don't send that text. Open up your heart. I want to see the veins or whatever he was saying, kind of like, I want to see a little blood and like pour your heart out a little bit. And he's like, oh, that's more like a paper cup, but that's a fresh start. And even Elliot being on voice, like kind of like FaceTime of sorts, being like, okay, how's everything going? Cole's like, man, I'm sitting here, I'm sweating bullets because he invited Natalie. Just love the conversations between them and stuff like that. He's so good. He even gave Cole advice during the car chase, and I really love that, like him being in the car and Erica being there in the car with him during the high-speed chase. And it's like, don't worry, you might have missed your big fish, but hey, you got these small fish, so that counts. And later on, Cole being like, oh, you smell. It's like, did I smell that bad? She's like, well, why didn't you let me take a bath first? He was like, well, the fact of the matter is, well, take a shower first. And he's like, well, no, I'm the one with the date tonight, so obviously I had to go first. So that's that whole thing. And I kind of figured things would kind of turn out the way they did. Well, I'll go ahead and talk about that with the whole Natalie situation, which is sad because for him, it's like, he sent that text. The moment that happened, I was like, Andrew saw it, didn't he? And it's like, turns out, in fact, he did. And Natalie was kind of pissed because it's like, you and me, yeah, we had a kid together, but that kiss was a mistake. Andrew's my future. You're kind of my past. We'll always be connected because of Maya. But the fact of the matter is, I just got caught up in a moment. It was something that made me feel like it was real. Like, it made me feel like all those years ago. And she's like, the fact of the matter is, it was a fantasy. What I have with Andrew was real until you did what you always do. You blow up everything. And it's so heartbreaking because it's like, because even Cole's like, I didn't kiss you. You kissed me. And she's like, yeah, but it's just, and it's so, you can tell it's breaking his heart. Like, he's not trying to ruin things because he can't, like, he wanted to make things right. He loves her. And it's just a complicated situation because, but ultimately he ends up talking to Andrew, which I even like that aspect of Andrew being pissed because it's like, he's like, you keep telling me I'm right. Stop telling me I'm right. And stop agreeing with me. But for Cole, it's like, the fact of the matter is what happened between me and Natalie, is over. It's like, this is coming from a guy. Take advice from a guy who waited 12 years too late to say what he needed to say. Don't pass up on this situation with Natalie just because of a mistake. And it's like, it's heartbreaking to even say what happened between them was a mistake because it's like, it sucks because obviously whatever is there, like, I'm curious to see what they end up doing with that because obviously it seems like they are making it seem like Natalie is 100% moving on because for her it's like, she ends up accepting, Andrew's proposal at the hockey game, and it's so heartbreaking because Cole's like, I didn't expect it to hurt this much. It's like, oh man, that sucks. Because I'm a sucker for a love story and stuff like that. I get all gushy about romance and stuff like that. So it's kind of like heartbreak. Because I legitimately was like, oh, him and Natalie are most likely going to get back together. I mean, that could always happen, but, you know, before they get fully married. But especially after a moment like this, an episode like this, it's kind of like, no, like if it was a situation where this type of confrontation never happened between him and Andrew, he never found out and stuff like, I'd probably think that maybe something would happen between them. But now I'm like, nah, most likely nothing will. It's, you know, so he kind of has to move on. Natalie moved on, and now he has to as well. He has to kind of be happy. But you can tell, even being on the phone, that it kind of hurt her, even talking to him about the situation, just as much as it hurt him hearing it. You know, it's like he has a tendency to blow things up, but he has a, on occasion, has been shown to kind of piece things back together too in this particular situation. And it's so sad. You know, because even Erica, who overheard the conversation, was like, you know, you did the right thing, right? But he's like, it doesn't feel like it, though. So I even love that he ends up bonding with when Trish has her girls' night, and he talks to the ladies about it, and they're like, no, she kissed you. You did nothing wrong. It's like they're on his side, and it's like, I thought that was kind of pretty nice, because Roger's kind of on the other side of things, whereas like the ladies spend lady night talking about him, because he ends up learning a lot about himself in that situation, like the fact is Trish is like, she wants her space, you know, and Roger's so hurt by it, and because even when the lady's like, oh, you know, you told us that whole thing about like, oh, shaving the goatee, or the fact is he's taking bath time, and he's like, well, you told Sheena about bath time? And he's like, okay, and he's so hurt by what Trisha said about her needing her space and everything, and he's like, oh, and Marcy, it's not a goatee, it's a Van Dyke, and it's spectacular, and it's just like, got all that sass on it. I love it. So it's just interesting to see them kind of on opposite spectrums of that situation. But even with the whole Elliot thing, like him escaping, and the reason why he got away, because, oh, there's Jill from the restaurant, but Cole didn't notice it because he was too busy, caught up in the situation with Natalie and eating a breadstick and even putting it back and stuff like that. And it's like, and even, you know, Erica being like, yeah, that breadstick pretty much ruined the entire case. Because it's actually kind of interesting, because the only reason why, like, because Erica feels like she has to prove herself, because she feels like the only reason why she's in this position is because her mom is so powerful. I forgot like what it was, position her mom is in, but literally the entire episode, like, oh yeah, you did good work, and Avery's like, yeah, make sure your mom, you know, hears about that, you know. And then you had Erica being like, yeah, she most likely won't doubt she cares about it, and kind of shoots Avery down, because the entire episode he's trying to impress Erica so she'll tell her mom about how impressive, you know, Avery is. His attempt to kind of repair his, you know, political career after it pretty much went down south extremely hard because of the premiere of the show this season and everything. So, but it was also pretty dope. You had Elliot taking a bullet for Rogers after you. Like, I hope we get to see more of him, because I hope it's kind of like a Leo situation, which, you know, I've talked about this at length. I don't remember the Lethal Weapon movies like this. Apparently Leo is, I guess, a recurring character in the movies. Is that who Joe Pesci's character is in the movies? Maybe not. But, like I said, it's been such a long time, so... But I didn't know, because I kept seeing that, like, oh yeah, like, I saw it in something recently. I was looking up a thumbnail or something, and I saw that kind of like, oh yeah, him betraying a character from the movie, Thomas Lennon, you know, portraying a character from the movies. I was like, oh, okay, so he's... I assume in all the movies, like I said, if that's Joe Pesci's character. I don't know if it is or not, so... But nevertheless, I think that was so... I hope we get to see more of Elliot, the way he buddied up with everyone. Even like, he's like, because even when he left a note, he's like, sorry, I gotta run, but best of luck with the gal. And then the whole situation, he's like, oh, Cole, hey, how did things go with the girl? He's like, terrible. That advice, that text was just crappy. Everything kind of exploded in my face and everything. And he's like, oh, I'm too bad. Like, it's that type of situation that they got that kind of bond. And like, I hope we get him in a situation where he helps out from time to time, because I love the dynamic. Because this also plays into the fact is that, you know, Roger doesn't really have boy time with anybody. Like, you know, because he doesn't really have any close friends. I mean, which is, to be fair, like, we haven't, like, outside of work, he doesn't really have any real friends. And so he tries the entire episode. Scorsese be happy to, but Roger doesn't want to spend any time with Scorsese. He's like, hey, I'm part of older millennial, have a lot of stuff to say that people just ignore. And it's like, oh, poor Scorsese. It's like, if you literally sat down, but it's like Roger would literally choose nobody over having Scorsese. So I thought that was just kind of interesting and sad in itself. So, but we do see him at the end kind of enjoying his time with Cole, like them bonding, and it's like, yeah, I love this, like, you know, kind of subverting expectation, because it's like, oh, the conversation they're having, I'm like, it's obviously, it's meant to sound like it's about sex, but it's like, what is it really about? It's like bath time, and it's like, Roger's like, oh, I used to take them like multiple times in a week, you know, and then Cole's like, maybe once a month, maybe. I think he said even if that, and it's like, wow. And just them having this deep, insightful conversation, I like them bonding like that, because, Elliot did give him the ticket, so I assume that was maybe after him and Cole had gone to the game. Maybe not. Maybe that's for the future. Maybe he'll end up taking Trish. Maybe Trish will be a little upset if he did that, even if it was boys' time, whatever the case may be. So I just like how the entire episode was structured in that regard. It's kind of funny because it's one of those instances of me just focusing more so on everything else, but rather than the crime. I talked a little bit about it, but still. I mean, because everything relatively, in a sense, kind of had a happy ending all around. Erica has her, you know, big win with this situation of taking down was it Fabrizio? Which is like, because even Cole was like, what kind, he's really that threatening with a name like Fabrizio? Which that whole situation with him putting that grenade in between Jimmy's legs like that. Was it Blinky? Because of the whole, like, missing eye thing, because Tony had a twisted sense of humor. But I thought it was so interesting. Like, the fact is, the moment they kind of, like, the fact is they got, like, that situation going on, like, they're not setting up the whole, like, Erica and Cole thing, just because it seemed like they were kind of setting it up from the beginning, and I was like, is that what that's potentially turning into? I mean, easily could be, but it might just be like no, we just did that just to do that to just set up another character, so we're not really potentially doing it. We'll see in the end. They've never really had a DA on their side, like a recurring DA, so it seems like they might be doing that with Erica, setting her up in that regard. Maybe not. We'll kind of have to wait and see in that regard, but I did like that joke at the end of, like, oh yeah, I can set you up with somebody. It's like, Cole's kind of looking like, what? And she's like, my mom, she saw you on TV, thought you were so kind of handsome or whatever. And he's like, I forgot what it was that Cole said, but she was like, oh, let me try it out, Dad. And they were like, ugh, no. She's like, yeah, it was creepy. It's like, yeah, don't do that. So that was kind of, like I said, in the long run, it's kind of sad that things between Cole and... Because part of me was kind of thinking that, like, oh, like, Cole was going to try to make sure the fight didn't get too loud. I thought he was like, hey, like, Natalie's moment is about to happen. I don't want anyone making too much noise or disturbing anything. But it's still just a situation of it hurts a lot, because the question would be like, was she going to say yes? I figure she was, but I mean, that like I said, it comes down to whether or not she, at this point, you kind of feel like she's all the way, but there's part of me that's wondering, like, at the last second, she might back out for Cole. I don't know. Maybe it's a situation if she sees Cole kind of dating someone else. Like I said, or maybe they are setting it up to be like, no, like, Cole's just going to have to, you know, he can't take back what was it. Like, the whole point was trying to get back the life that he once had. Be there for Maya and also be there for Natalie, be in Natalie's life. But sadly, that might not be the case. I mean, we're parents and we can be friends. It's still just going to be weird and awkward between them for a while. Probably even weird and awkward between him and Andrew, because it's like, I can't necessarily leave you alone with my fiance, because the last time y'all were together, you kissed her and all that stuff. Like, it's like, well, she gets to me. You know, it's that whole situation. So ultimately, we'll kind of have to wait and see what the next episode has in store for us with all of this. But I'm very interested to see where this all takes us going forward. But really, that's all I want to talk about in this episode. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.